Shadowverse. Meeting the Justice League and SD She-Hulk. Dot. Blaze looks across the bridge into the city as he drives onto it following traffic. As he inches along, he notices a group of people gathered around something on the sidewalk. Curiosity gets the better of him and he takes a detour from his planned route to investigate. Parking his car in the extra parking lane, he approaches the crowd cautiously. The commotion centered around a strange symbol etched into the concrete. It appears to be some sort of occult symbol and the people gathered around seem to be arguing about what it means, he thinks as he approaches. He sees that one of the arguing figures is a man in a long, black trench coat. Blaze, feeling a bit uneasy, edges closer to the group. The man in the trench coat turns his head slightly, as if sensing his presence, and fixes him with a cold, piercing stare. The other people in the crowd ignoring him for the moment, continuing their heated debate. The trench-coated man's eyes narrow as Blaze approaches, a calculating glint coming over them. "Oh, hello there," he says in a smooth, oily voice. "I don't believe we've been properly introduced. My name is Sebastian Shaw, and I'm just here for the show." "Nice to meet you, Shaw," he says, suppressing a shudder at the sound of the man's voice. He then declines to shake his hand. "I have a thing about germs." Sebastian Shaw laughs, a low, smooth chuckle. "Ah, I understand. Well, I hope you don't mind if I ask what brings you to this part of town." "You seem like an interesting fellow, Blaze." He leans in closer, his tone taking on a more conspiratorial edge. "I can't tell what it is, but this Shaw guy isn't normal." Blaze thinks, looking at the scene. "So, what happened?" he asks, turning to see Shaw has vanished. As he turns his attention back to the crowd, some of the bystanders gasp and point to the sky, where a dark cloud is forming. Dot. A bolt of lightning strikes the ground nearby, sending up a cloud of dirt and debris. The crowd begins to panic, screaming and running in all directions. Blaze, however, remains calm and focuses on the ominous cloud forming above. "Something big is about to happen, I can't be caught off guard." He focuses his senses. "What the heck is that? Feels like a spike through my body," he thinks. The feeling snaps like a rubber band, and he burst steps 15 feet to the side. The area shakes from the lightning strike, its field picking at him, the main discharge narrowly missing. The current through the ground dropping him to a knee. A mini explosion cratering the roadway. Dot. Looking up, he sees Superman staring in surprise. "You must be Blaze. No time to explain, but you have to come with me." Blaze blinks, momentarily dazed from the impact of the lightning strike. He looks up at the Man of Steel, his eyes narrowing as he takes in the powerful figure before him. "Who are you, and what's going on here?" he demands, struggling to his feet. Superman picks him up and they dart away at hypersonic speed. Dot. At Justice League HQ a short time later, Blaze bursts out laughing. "I'm not even a mutant or anything," he says. Flash chuckles. "Of course, what this wizard guy wants. This guy." Superman clears his throat. "You didn't see what I saw," as he dodged a lightning bolt. "And this new threat is looking for him." Blaze shrugs. "Diana, I'm not questioning your team's judgment," he says. "But I'm just saying I ain't no superhero. I'm just a guy who wants to protect his family." She nods. "I understand. But this new threat, he's not like anything we've ever faced before. He's powerful, and he seems to have an interest in you specifically." Blaze sighs. "Great," he mutters, rolling his eyes. "Just what I need, a crazed fan." Wonder Woman pulls Superman aside as the others talk among themselves. "Even if the wizard Nihrod wants him, I can't see why. He's so easygoing and taking this like a joke," Superman says. Dot. Blaze, now sitting at the table with the others, leans back in his chair and crosses his arms. "Look, I appreciate the offer and all, but I'm just a guy with a family. I don't know anything about magic wizards or interdimensional beings wanting to drag me into some sort of adventure." Superman chuckles. Diana looks at Blaze. No one said anything about interdimensional beings, she says, crossing her arms. Oh, so it's just some wizard from another world who thinks I'm his gift horse, huh? Blaze says, cringing inside. Well, that's a relief, I guess. I mean, I'm flattered and all, but I've got my own life to live. Superman moves over to him. You don't have a choice. Shaw has joined forces with the Dark Wizard Nimrod. If you're one of his targets, we need to know why and keep you safe. Blaze groans. Alright, I get it. But can we at least have some time to prepare or something? I mean, I've got a family to think about. Of course, Diana says, nodding. We'll help you get whatever you need at. Wait. Blaze says, thinking a moment. You said Nimrod. My wife's name is Mira. Odd coincidence. Should we have my wife and young adult daughter here too? He asks. That's not a coincidence, Diana says, frowning. Nimrod has been targeting people with similar names to his beloved, for some reason. It's a part of his twisted plan. It's better if they stay safe until we know more. What do you mean, his beloved? Blaze asks, wondering if they know more than he can currently remember. Wonder Woman frowns. He claims Mira is his daughter's reincarnation. And you are on his list of enemies. Blaze sighs. Great. Find a few false positives and then the real one. Might need to give that gift away sooner than later, he thinks to himself. Superman nods to Batman, who quickly leaves to retrieve Blaze's daughter and Mira. Alright, if that's what you need, Blaze says. But I want them to be as safe as possible. I've seen enough of that Nimrod guy to know he's bad news. Diana nods in agreement. We understand. We'll make sure they're well protected. ... After a few hours, Batman returns alone. When I arrived, the house was a mess and no one was there. It would seem that Nimrod may have Blaze's family already. Shit. Blaze curses. So what do we do now? He asks, a hint of fear in his voice. We go after them, Superman says firmly. We have a lead on where they might be. It's too dangerous to stay here. Blaze looks at Superman. Too dangerous to stay here. You're Superman, she's Wonder Woman and the others. Nimrod can't be that powerful. Wonder Woman shrugs. He's powerful enough to give us a fight we don't want to take head on, she says grimly. But we're also more experienced and knowledgeable. We can use that to our advantage. That's right, Batman agrees. For someone that's certainly in danger, you really seem to take this lightly. Maybe we should test you. Let's see if you can even lay a finger on the Flash. He says, looking at Flash. Hey, Flash snaps, his face flushing with anger. I'm not some punching bag. And I'm not just here for your amusement. He glares at Batman, but then seems to catch himself. Sorry, he mutters, looking away. Let's just focus on the mission. Superman looks at them both. Flash, let's see if Blaze has what it takes to defend himself. If that's okay with him, he says, turning to Blaze. Okay, Blaze says, taking a defensive stance. Let's see what you've got. Flash smirks, then suddenly disappears in a flash of lightning. Hey, Blaze shouts, whirling around as Flash reappears behind him, slapping a hand on his shoulder. Yeesh, talk about clumsy, Flash snickers, pulling his hand away. I think it's safe to say you're not quite ready for the big leagues. Batman steps forward, looking Blaze up and down. He's right. Blaze raises a hand. Hold on a sec, he says, focusing. The air starts to feel charged as Blaze jumps away. I knew you'd only tap. Saw you cross the room. And eat the cheeseburger. Flash tilts his head. That's interesting, he says, stepping up his speed. Blaze feels the changes in energy and sets up to bait the Flash. Though slower, he feels by the energies as the intents are made and reacts to the changes. Catching Flash's fist as they stand upside down on the ceiling, Blaze suddenly realizes they are defying gravity. Suddenly Blaze falls in surprise, the Flash catching him on the way down. Oh, come on, Blaze, Flash says, shaking his head. You can't even keep your balance. I thought you were supposed to be some kind of hero. He lets go, letting Blaze drop the rest of the way to the ground. He lands softly. I don't really know how I just did that. I'm not even sure what all I can actually do. Wonder Woman smiles. Don't mind him. That was impressive, but still Superman is right. The Fortress of Solitude would be safer. No one knows its location. Superman makes an odd remark, folding his arms over his broad chest. Besides, I'm stronger and faster than all of you put together. Flash snorts. Yeah, right. Blaze senses a change in their attitudes. Hey guys, does that one guy wear a black and red suit-like clothing like some modern-day wizard and drive people mad with his presence? He says, pointing towards the source of emptiness and dark power. Superman takes a step back, then grabs Blaze as the others make their escape. But is stopped by a ring of red light that surrounds and begins to weaken him. Nimrod steps towards them. I know all about your power, Superman. A red sun weakens you. So I brought a little piece here through an adjustable portal. Hand over Blaze, or I could just end you all now and just find him on another planet. Superman falls to his knees as the one-way ring portal tightens, spewing energy. Blaze shields himself with his arms. The bursts of hypersonic wind and heat blast outward as the building is blown apart. Blaze looks through the whitish-blue aura protecting him as he struggles against the electrifying feeling of its use. Fine. You want me, Nimrod? I'll go with you. Just leave them alone. Flash rolls his eyes. Great. Another idiot hero. And here I was hoping we'd get to meet someone cool for a change. Nimrod smirks. Ah, Flash. You should thank him. This way, you always have someone to race against. He turns to Blaze. The portal spewing red sun energy vanishes and Superman falls unconscious onto the ground. Let's go see your wife, shall we? Nimrod says as he gets closer. Within a certain distance, Blaze feels an energy shell pass by. Nimrod teleports next to him and the vile energy intensifies. So your magic has a limited range. That sucks, Blaze says. Nimrod chuckles. That helps you very little, he says as they both vanish. Batman looks at his scanner's readings. Doctor Strange should know more about Mirad's magic. The Flash shrugs. Hey, it's not like we can call him, you know. Strange and we've had our disagreements in the past. He grins sheepishly. But, hey, you're Batman. You must know someone else who knows someone who can help, right? Batman nods. Indeed, I do, though, I'd rather not involve him in something like this. The fewer people who know about Nimrod, the better. I'll see what information I can dig up on my own, and if need be, make a few discreet inquiries. The Flash grins. Thanks, Bats. You're the best, but if you ever need a hand, or just someone to run circles around the bad guys with, you know where to find me. With that, he vanishes in a flash of lightning, leaving Batman to ponder his next move. He looks over at Superman. Nimrod came prepared. And with magic like his, you're not going to be useful unless we can counter it. I may have a fix for that. Though it won't withstand long-term engagement, it might let us get close. Sounds good, Batman, Wonder Woman replies. Let's get started on that as soon as possible. She takes a deep breath, steeling herself for the upcoming battle against Nimrod. We can't let him hurt anyone else or unleash that portal again. Batman nods. Indeed. We'll need to be quick and decisive. Superman, Wonder Woman, I'll coordinate with you in the field. I have a few tricks up my sleeve that might help even the odds against Mirad's magic. The trio of heroes exchange determined glances, readying themselves for the fight ahead. Dot. Dot. Turning around, Nimrod grows furious seeing that Blaze has vanished from his restraints and in his place a doll, used as a receptacle for copy magic. When did he switch out though? We haven't. He sighs. I knew I should have just killed him once I had him, he says, shaking his head. Find him now, he snaps at his minions. Dot dot. Dot dot. She-Hulk Amber. The accident. ... Having slipped away from the evil wizard, Blaze rushes to a testing area in the desert. ... Looking at the readings as the experimental fusion rods move into place, Amber frowns as one of the readouts goes into the red. Hitting the emergency shutdown, she begins to panic as it fails to halt the reaction. A sound draws her attention to the viewing window as the energy cracks the glass and starts leaking through. Backing away towards the door, she stumbles over her own feet as the containment fails, flooding the room with radiation. The pain is gone in a split second, but the damage has already been done. Radiation poisoning will kill within hours after exposure, days if luck runs out first. She reaches for the door as the energy saturates her body when something grabs her shoulders. Looking back, she sees a man standing there as if the roiling green energy has no effect on him. The man raises his hand and produces energy that surrounds her as it fills every cell in her body. The man turns away, looking at the experimental reactor. Looks like today's your lucky day. I had one more gift to give and just happened to find someone suitable for it. Just in time too, he says, smiling. I'm Shadow, by the way. Be seeing you around. He pauses. And that's not gonna work either. Too much violent energy. You need 0-point energy and tech not available on Earth yet. At least not to humans. He says, then vanishes through a portal. Suddenly the reactor explodes, vaporizing the facility. Her eyes open wide, staring up, unable to see anything but a haze floating all about her. Her life flashes through her mind and passes as everything fades until nothing remains except anger and regret. Then, like a freight train appearing from dense fog, a red-hot anger fills her mind as her vision returns. Pushing herself up, she shakes off the vitrified material and climbs to her feet. She looks around, feeling taller than usual. The anger inside her screaming to release as her mind is in a chaotic fog. Feeling the anger, her thoughts drift to smashing whatever piques her interest. Just then a tank lurches to a halt nearby and a man's voice comes over a speaker. "Oh, what are you doing over here?" Startled by the sudden appearance, Amber turns to the tank, dashing towards it, lashing out with a green fist, impacting the armor. She barely notices as the 60-ton machine is blasted several miles across the desert, coming to a rest, heavily damaged. A voice comes through the speaker reporting complete structural failure and damage along most of the hull. The Hulk, having seen the initial blast, now making his way over to help as he was in the area. Interesting. He growls, ready to defend himself. A flash grenade flies past from behind him, landing near Amber, giving her pause. The device illuminating the desert brighter than the sun, and she covers her eyes, stumbling around blinded. Hulk moves in and raises his hand to signal the other tank drone's pilot to hold fire. Amber looks around as her vision starts returning, the anger inside burning fiercely. Seeing the Hulk's large green outline, the anger directs her and she rockets forward, surprising him. The Incredible Hulk moves to defend, but is too slow as Amber connects with a rage-fueled haymaker to his face. Seconds later he reaches the mountain range 15 miles away, Amber there waiting as she lands a heavy kick, hitting the Hulk's midsection. He grunts, hurtling toward the desert floor, and she easily passes, meeting him at the impact site with a well-placed head kick. The desert around them exploding into the sky as the force gouges a crater, filling the air with dust. From high above, Shadow floats, watching carefully. Glad that's not me. Poor Hulk. Who knew? Seems her energy output has limits. Hope every episode she has is as short as this one, he thinks to himself. Down below, the tank drones move in as the dust clears, revealing Amber unconscious in her normal form. The Incredible Hulk beside her, out cold and breathing harshly. The next day. Amber jolts awake, looking around in confusion at the chamber she is in. A rather large room with everything a woman could need. Except for privacy. She puts a hand on the clear wall and senses a strange energy. Pulling away as it startles her, she looks at her hand, seeing it's normal, and looks back at the wall. Just then Bruce Banner comes through a heavily armored door. "I know you must be very confused right now, but it could be worse," he says. then tells her, "You might not have woken up at all after what happened yesterday, you transforming into a She-Hulk." Just as he finishes his sentence, there is an explosion, throwing him against the far wall, leaving behind a mostly destroyed doorway and sending half of one wall crashing down onto the floor. A man in what appears to be a dark wizard's robe floats through the opening. "I had warned your predecessor about my research being connected to hers. It appears my concerns were well-founded," the man says angrily. Bruce pushes himself up as he turns a pale green. "And you are?" "I am Merhad, your worst nightmare," the wizard says. Banner's clothes rip as he turns in the Hulk. "Big talk for such a little man," he says, waving his hand dismissively. Merhad attacks, holding out a palm, launching a fireball at Hulk, who raises his forearms. Blocking the magic attack, it detonates, obliterating the area. Merhad smiles. The Hulk lowers his fists, looking over them. Taking note that though the blast was easily survivable, it still did damage. He frowns as the injury isn't healing due to residual energy in the wounds. Hulk glances back at Merhad as he takes him more seriously. Then claps his hands together, creating a shockwave that races toward the man, tearing away material around it. Merhad sighs, channeling a special negative energy, and as the shockwave hits, the energy flows through him and his form glowing with a purple light. Hulk's attack passes by as part of the shockwave are reflected by Merhad's body. Raising his hand, he directs the energy around his arm, concentrating it, the attack firing toward Hulk as a rain of ultra-dense air projectiles surrounded by dark energy. The ultrasonic stream impacts Hulk's chest, arms and knees in non-lethal locations, causing him to drop to his knees, unable to move as his screams rock the fortress. Merhad laughs as the sounds are like music to his ears. Walking over to the prison chamber Amber is held in, he taps on the barrier. "That power you have, who gave it to you?" he asks her. "Some guy named Shadow." "Why?" Merhad takes a breath. "Well, you see, my daughter has a destiny as Queen of Hell but keeps running off with him. Do you know where he is?" he says as he effortlessly breaks through the containment. Amber backs away as he enters the room. "I'm not sure. He went through a portal," she tells him. "Could you see anything through it?" he asks, growing impatient. She steadies herself. "There was some kind of mountain-sized castle in the distance, but nowhere like that exists here on Earth." Merhad nods. His eyes narrow as he notices blood leaking from several points on Hulk's massive frame, his screams still echoing throughout the complex. Seems my power only cancels out his healing temporarily, hopefully it holds long enough. He thinks to himself for a second before speaking again. "I was afraid of that," he says as he grows angry. "The one place I can't get to from this universe," he growls. Looking at Amber, he gets an idea. "Today is your lucky day, Eternal," he says, and then vanishes as he teleports away. The moment he is gone, the Hulk's wounds let off purple electrical discharges and begin to rapidly heal as he falls forward. The pain quickly disappears and the once injured muscle tissue regrows itself completely. Standing up, he shrinks back into Bruce, who holds up his shorts. "What do we do next? Is everyone alright?" he asks into his radio earpiece. He walks over to the missing armored door, looking out, and stumbles back as he sees the whole base has been destroyed. "How did we not hear anything?" he asks the air. A voice from behind him makes him turn around. "Because Merhad's magic is that good," a man with dark hair and tropical skin tone says, his golden brown eyes taking in the destruction. He frowns, crossing his arms. "I'm Blaze, and Merhad should be dead. We met like 5,000 years ago. He must have figured out how to be immortal or something," he says. Banner thinks for a sec. "How did you know he was here?" Blaze sighs. "Well, my source told me. Wants me to figure out how to beat Merhad and fix the balance," he says. "So I came along thinking nothing would happen when I found him. But yeah, things didn't exactly go according to plan." Bruce gestures behind him. "Where shall we look first?" Blaze's brow furrows. "Look, I get that he destroyed your base and killed a lot of people, but it can get a lot worse." Bruce laughs. "Really? How?" Blaze seems far away for a moment. Oh, well, there was that one time before this on another Earth that he destroyed the whole planet. Then he remade it into his own twisted world. Amber stomps her foot as she feels ignored. Do you know how hard it was to get rid of him last time? She says angrily. He senses the energy in the room and sighs. Mirab, it's not right to just speak through people you know. Also not helping her change into She-Hulk from your emotions, he says to Amber. She crosses her arms. Okay, fine. Good luck, his wife says, breaking the connection. Banner looks at She-Hulk, then to Shadow, who seems nervous but ready. Blaze, I hope you don't think fighting her would be a good idea. He smiles. No idea why Jane is being like that, but I got this. Suddenly she is beside him, throwing a punch. Chapter 4. Hell in the Fold. Diana stands frozen, watching the screen in front of her. On it flashes news reports about terrorist groups attacking the city. Her entire staff stand around the office talking amongst themselves nervously or reading their phones. The news chopper's cameraman zooms in on the top of a skyscraper and Diana's jaw hangs open in shock. The true attackers on camera appearing to be demonic-looking things shooting blasts of dark purple energy. As she watches, further footage of the truth becomes apparent. Demons appear below, killing humans by eating, ripping and blasting people with energy. A couple buildings fall, causing part of the city on the ground to become obscured from view. The cameraman pans right, filming as people scream frantically. Running desperately, trying to escape the demons, finding no sanctuary in which to hide. Just then a man appears with the Incredible Hulk and a She-Hulk. The man puts up a hand toward She-Hulk, who rushes toward him, blocking a punch. He is knocked back. ... Shadow curses, the three of them in the city, as She-Hulk's attack sends him crashing through a building. Looking back, he sees her turn towards the Hulk and rush forward. They clasp hands with the force of a 5,000-pound bomb, throwing up dust and debris of destroyed buildings. She-Hulk, though not as bulky as Hulk, begins to force him to his knees. Then as they struggle, one of Murhad's creations lands a useless punch to her head. She-Hulk breaks away from Hulk, grabbing the creature, biting it in half. She throws the pieces aside with an earth-shaking scream of rage. Hulk takes a step back, raising a hand as she turns back to him. Amber, you have to get control of She-Hulk, focus, he says. She grabs hold of him and drives him into the ground with a slam. Just as Hulk pushes himself up, a deafening bolt of dark purple energy strikes nearby, the blast knocking them to the ground. A hole rips through the clouds above, exposing the full moon directly overhead for a brief period as Murhad floats down. Shadow grits his teeth. You didn't have to cause all of this death and chaos, Murhad. I was already looking for you. He shouts as his liquid fire and glass-like sapphire blue energy flares. A blue sparking ball of magic floats in midair, pulling each of them towards it as a cosmic rift to a planet owned by the Fold opens. ... Transported by the rift, they land near mountains filled with natural beauty. Murhad and Blaze rush towards one another. Their hearts speed up as the adrenaline floods their system. There is something about this place, even magic cannot flow anymore. With no powers and only human strength, they trade blows. This new form of combat appealing to Blaze. Been a long time since I've had no real powers at all, he thinks. Suddenly the Hulk and She-Hulk almost crush them both as they seem unaffected by this strange place. Sensing around, Blaze notices the air is filled with some kind of organic energy in virus-like machines. That's not good, he says, catching a punch from Murhad. Then dodging a punch, Mihrad lands a front kick. Blaze grunts as he takes the hit to the gut. We need help, he yells at the teammates fighting alongside them as he rolls, shoving the wizard away. His and Mirad's abilities returning slowly. Rolling back to his feet, he charges at Murhad. There's a flash as Mihrad counters, his strikes piercing Blaze's chest as hidden spring-loaded blades shoot out of his sleeves. Blaze staggers back, coughing as he struggles to breathe. Dirty tricks, huh? He thinks as he stumbles. Seeing his companion wounded, Hulk reaches out, grabbing him before Merhad can land another attack. Jumping through the tier as it shrinks as he carries Amber and Blaze to safety. The Dark Wizard screams angrily, failing to reach the rift as it disappears. Merhad's creations having vanished when he changed universes. He watches the portal shrink to nothing, unable to gather magic for such a spell again for some time. My using this place worked well. Worked very well. If Hulk hadn't interfered, Shadow would be dead and imprisoned in my energy prison within the void. He says angrily. ... Hours later, Blaze is in surgery as Amber is put under Bruce's care at Area 51. In the meantime, while they recover, Banner is still shaken up by events even after briefing the others. Sitting there, he thinks of the Hulk and how he had barely held his own against She-Hulk. ... Walking into Amber's room as she wakes, he sets a gourmet chicken meal on the table. The smell attracting her attention instantly. Taking a bite, her mood improves. Oh my god, it tastes awesome, she says, getting excited as she digs in and devours it. She then thinks of the destruction she caused as She-Hulk, feeling ashamed. ... Not long after, Wonder Woman comes walking into the room, followed by Nick Fury with some important documents. Fury scans her quickly. Are you okay, ma'am? Amber sighs, glancing around. About as okay as I can be, given what's happened. Wonder Woman rolls her eyes. Well, I guess seeing someone kill 30 guys won't make us popular. You're gonna get control of it though, aren't you? It doesn't matter because this goes way back to Blaze, failing in another universe anyway. Fury sets the papers down. These are records and reconnaissance photos on how the Third Reich recruited members from different universes and places in time. Fury clears his throat. Shadow, aka Blaze, thought he got them all in his set of universes. But now we know. The Third Reich from your Shadowverse is similar to the Fold. They are purely organic, exist as assimilating beings, and the icing on the cake. He snatches the papers, throwing them. Just a one damn touch, and they infect. Fury pauses, calming himself. Continuing, he says. Now, by the grace of God, all the attackers and their assimilated were held here by Merhad's magic. We need you and all your allies to be on a team in Shadow. Fury pauses. How the hell did you? You know what, forget it. Blaze looks at him. I was already chasing Mihran. The spell, that's another thing we've learned to handle, he states. Fury nods. You're in charge of the other members aside from Bruce, Miss Smash the City, and our more veteran heroes. Don't screw this up, and get back to our universe ASAP, Shadow. Fury says, shaking his head, looking at floating balls of energy displaying Blaze's image. Fury nods. I've got other arrangements, he says, checking a notification. As he leaves, shutting the door, Wonder Woman hands out earpieces from Blaze's universe. ... More orders are given out in a hushed whisper tone among those gathered. Orders to destroy evidence, and avoid any word to the public. The wormhole over New York still fresh in their minds. ... Amber frowns as everyone is to wait till Shadow returns. So this is your fault, she says over the radio to Shadow. Not entirely, he responds. But mostly yours. I tried keeping you from attracting him with that energy experiment, he adds. Amber thinks back to all the strange malfunctions and broken parts critical to the system. Though never anything that would cause a meltdown or explosion. Amber feels a little ticked off. That experiment was my life's work. He sighs. You would have died if I hadn't interfered. Technically I wasn't supposed to, but I couldn't stay hidden and just let you perish. Merhad knew that too. I was also a little late getting there, he says. Banner furrows his brow. Amber scoffs. You're lucky I can't reach you in your universe, she says angrily as she punches a support pillar, turning it to rubble. Shadow chuckles. Probably true. Bruce clears his throat. So you've been going around keeping strange energies in check or something? He asks Shadow through his earpiece. He sighs. Kinda, yeah. Then Blaze adds, More to stop demons from ruling Earth or New Earth here in the Shadowverse. It would give them a foothold that has portals to almost every universe within my set. Though there is only one traversable portal between you guys here in my Shadowverse. And they would have to find the room of portals that roam space. He tells them. ... Not long after. Amber sits with her eyes closed visualizing She-Hulk. Within her mind she talks to She-Hulk getting nowhere. Amber stomps her foot within her mind and the ground breaks apart. She-Hulk raises her hands in a fighting stance and Amber understands what she has to do. In the physical world Amber has transformed into She-Hulk, though she is meditating fitfully as the two minds face off in a battle of will. She-Hulk rushes towards Amber's mental form and she raises her hands in panic falling back. Suddenly a green energy bursts from her hands pushing She-Hulk back in her mental space. A loud crack echoes off the walls as a green energy explodes from She-Hulk's hands. In their mind, She-Hulk gets back to her feet and charges again. ... Suddenly, on Blaze's planet within the Shadowverse as he sits almost fully healed in his throne room. Deadpool leans on the entryway. Guy came in here looking for you, real Grim Reaper type. I don't know, might further the plot of something, was kinda upset you broke his Death Reaper gift. Blaze chuckles, you aren't supposed to be here. Deadpool squints at him, and you're not supposed to be here, in redemption right now. He says throwing up his hands. He shrugs nodding at him. Well I got really messed up, needed my royal medics and I'm kinda also. In the past in another universe so. Been several days for me as I can just jump to where I'm needed. Plus it annoys my creator a lot. He laughs. Raising a finger Deadpool pauses. Wait a second. Blaze smiles. Yeah I can too but, what fun is doing it all the time. Have you killed your own actor on screen before? Sitting at his throne for a moment Blaze thinks then says. Well my forced fight with the Gold Baron long ago, when the universes were full of more powerful beings. A few of those explosions out in space. He says. Deadpool lowers his finger. Not all of them though. True, only one I care about, is the Golden Nebula. Gold Baron fell into a black hole and it exploded somehow. He was a great man. Deadpool nods. Great man. Really did light up the universe. Blaze can't help but smile through the emotions. ... Back on She-Hulk's Earth, she stands breathing heavily and looks around. Hulk stares at her nervously asking. Are you Amber or the anger? She smiles. Amber. She grins and Hulk relaxes slightly. She shrinks into her human form and stumbles feeling weak, the conflict within having drained her mentally and physically. ... Several hours later Blaze returns from his universe with some allies to assist. He pauses then introduces the new arrivals. This is my son Meliodas, he says and Banner laughs. Meliodas looks at him. What's so funny? Last I heard Murhad beat you down. I've fought him before too. His magic's easy to learn. Hulk taps on Banner's mind. We could take him but it wouldn't be easy, he says as they look at the dark-haired young man. Blaze clears his throat impatiently. This here is my daughter Lily. She might look fragile but trust me she can and has devoured whole universes. Not on purpose. A plot by Murhad and an angel that helped free her from the Leviathan pit in hell to end the universe. Work too, but she wanted to be loved and eventually that beat her darker side. He tells them. He puts a hand on the third's shoulder. We aren't really supposed to interfere with each other's universal affairs but it's been okayed for now. The man cracks his neck and tightens the belt of his orange uniform. Hey there, I'm Goku, a Saiyan from Earth. Well, not this one but one in a different universe, he says smiling. Banner grins. We know about other universes already. Are you? Hulk interrupts in his mind. He has a universal power level. Banner stutters. You a god or something? He asks. Goku smirks. No, but I can transform into one, he says going into his Super Saiyan God form filling the room with red light. then pushes into Super Saiyan Blue. Hulk swallows nervously, glad he is on their side as Goku relaxes, dropping back to base form smiling softly. Dot. Dot. Just then, Captain America walks in and sees Roar. Blaze smiles, and this is Roar. A highly intelligent Saiyan-born xenomorph that inherited all of the abilities of a Saiyan. He was a mercenary till we crossed paths. He caught me too, but we found common ground and became friends quickly. Cap fist bumps with Roar. Cool look, Cap says. Roar nods, then speaks telepathically. Not so bad yourself, let's go save the world. He projects confidently. Captain America claps his hands together as they walk outside, where Black Panther awaits along with several other heroes and some villains. Everyone greets one another and prepares themselves mentally. Cap looks at Ultron and Thanos. Glad to be on the same side in this one. Thanos frowns. Kind of hard to cleanse the universe if it doesn't exist. We will have our battle in time. Cap nods. Suddenly the sky splits open as powerful villains from the DC universe come through a boom tube. Darkseid appears from the portal. Insects. Bow before your new leader, he says, shaking the city. Blaze takes a step back, swallowing nervously as the others seem troubled by this new development. As Darkseid moves towards the group, one of his minions appears through the portal, then it closes. The minion stops near him. Murhad is working on finding the anti-life equation as we speak. Nothing will stop us from having it, he says. Darkseid vaporizes the minion without warning. There is no us, only Darkseid. He growls. He chuckles, then his voice booms throughout the area. No matter what kind of plan you think up against me, it will not be enough. Dot. Dot. Ultron raises his eyebrow. Our current force is insufficient for this encounter, he says, looking at the various villains under Darkseid's control. Dot. Dot. Dot.